Kanunay nga gipatbat sa mga kritiko ni Mayor Michael Rama nga bangkaruta ang dakbayan sa Sugbo. Buot nilang linglahon ang katawhan ug patuhuon nga napurdoy ang dakbayan haron ilang yamiran ug panghimarauton si Mayor Rama ug mababagan siya sa iyang mabuhat alang sa dakbayan. Sa nagkadaghan nga balay patigayon nga niya, mibubo o binilyon ka pesos nga kantidad sa katigayunan sa dakbayan, makuli kaayo nga bangkaruta ang kagamhanan. Sukwahi sa ilang pag-ingon nga purdoy ang kagamhanan. Maisip gani ang dakbayan usa sa labing adunahan nga local government unit sa tibuok nasod. Ang dakbayan sa Sugbo na nag-iya pa og 255 hektaryas nga kayutaan. Apil na ang South Road Properties kon SRP nga kun ibaligya, mukita og bilyon-bilyon ka pesos. Napaubos na gani ang 40 sa 255 hektaryas nga SRP sa Joint Venture Agreement tali sa Cebu City Government ug PhilInvest Land. Pinaagi niini, dakong kantidad ang maangkon sa dakbayan gikan sa kita sa PhilInvest Land kung makumpleto na ang pagdevelop niini sa maong kayutaan. Mukantidad ang nahabiling 215 hektaryas nga kayutaan sa SRP ug kapin sa 20 bilyones ka pesos. Miabot lang ang utang sa Japan sa pag-reclaim sa SRP ug 6 bilyones pesos. Samtang padayon karon ang dakbayan nga nagbayad sa utang sa Japan, angay unta nga pahimuslan usab nato ang abot sa SRP aron ang dakong halin niini igasto pagmugna og proyekto nga pahimuslan sa katawhan. Apan sa pagkakaron, daan nang mibabag ang kanhi mayor og karon kongresista Tomas Osmeña nga mabaligya ang parte sa SRP kay matud niya dili patukma. Kay siya man ang amo sa partido, gilantaw nga mulinya niya ang ginsakpan sa konseho. Bisan pa man kung may mga magpapatigayon nga buot mo invest karon sa SRP, mapugos na lang sila nga muadto sa laing alternatibong lugar haron malikayan ang gubot sa politika. Sa maong sitwasyon, mahisama si Mayor Rama sa usa ka mag-uuma nga dako unta kaayog tinguha nga mabugwal ang iyang uma apan dili kini makahimo kay gipiangan ang iyang mga kamot haron dili makatuman sa iyang mga tahas. Apan magpakabutabungo lang ba kita sa maniobra nga hikawan ang katawhan sa dakbayan sa mga kaayuhan? Tungod lang kay may mga politiko nga mubabag haron dili gihapon mapahimuslan ang SRP nga misuyo pa sa kaban sa katawhan haron mabayran ang gilon haron kini matukod sa milabay na nga dekada. Sakto ang mayor. It's payback time.
One would be surprised to note that the proposed 2012 annual budget of the Cebu City government actually magnifies years of neglect of what was once supposedly cited as the 8th most livable city in Asia, even boasted as second to none in the Philippines. But it shows just a tip of the iceberg of such enormous disregard. Beneath the proverbial iceberg should be what every constituent worth his salt should be wary. These are concerns that have been overlooked, if not abandoned, for at least a decade. By comparison, this would be at least 5-folds compared to what can be addressed for now. And yet, a handful in the Cebu City Council would take even just what is on the surface of the iceberg as a joke. These are problems that Cebu City Mayor Michael Lopez Rama want to tackle with a 10 billion peso budget that his administration has proposed. Now, how may be what is beneath the tip of the iceberg? Little would everyone realize that contrary to what has been boasted about the city, conflicting with what has been projected, and differing from all the sugar coating, Cebu City is ailing, suffering from being taken for granted by the previous leadership. In his first 100 days as Chief Executive Officer of Cebu City, Mayor Rama noted at least 500 problems suffered by a city now existing below par, already overtaken by emerging metropolitan centers as Taguig, Valenzuela, and Davao. To cite a few, these issues include the worsening floods during heavy torrential rains caused by antiquated drainage and inexistent sewage systems, uncontrolled disposition of waste that has turned the coastal areas into an open septic containment, and tolerated quarrying operations in the hinterlands, plus moon-like roads full of potholes. The mayor needed to trim down his list to 300 to cover those that can be workable, and further cut the same to 150 to focus on what he believes are workable, urgent, and important, and also those that he feels his administration must address during his first term. Of the list, the executive department could only adopt 65 items into the 2012 budget for being smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. These are the items his administration will cover in 2012. They all amount to 10.5 billion pesos.
Kanang budget na presenta namo dili na among panginahanglanon personal, kundi i-capture na ang mga desire. Nahog na siya repository of all the desires nga among nakitaan nagikinahanglan.
These are the public concerns that some in the city council have prejudged as a joke. And yet, Filomeno Lim, president of the Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce, declared on November 4, 2011, during the mayor's presentation of the 2012 budget to businessmen, that Cebu City deserves to have a budget of 20 billion pesos. Certainly, what he said could never be a joke. To justify their prejudgment, a handful of city legislators would question the capability of the city government to raise the needed revenues to fund what on the surface appears to be an ambitious budget, if its detailed purposes and circumstances behind are not appreciated well. They want the budget limited to what can be collected rather than upholding the people's budget by working with the executive in tapping already available resources that can be raised, including the correct appraisal of properties within the city and the sale of city-owned properties. For one, the skyline of Cebu City has changed, as some streets where residences once stood have become hotels, condominiums, and commercial centers. Macro and micro enterprises have emerged almost everywhere, even at what were merely just gasoline stations. And there is the South Reclamation Project, now renamed as South Road Properties, to which the city has been spending so much in payment of the loan acquired to build it. It still remains a delicious food to partake, only left for the people to smell its aroma, but denied their palate's desire.
Payback time na maniron. Kung payback time, pila ka billions ni adto na padong sa SRP. Now, ang SRP na may revenues ug naapay umaabot na madawat diri.
It's payback time, Mayor Rama declares. It's been too long a time that the people of Cebu City were denied of what they deserve, he said, as he cited the 4 billion pesos of city funds paid so far for the loan rather than used to make the city truly livable. Topping the list is 500 million pesos set aside for the rehabilitation and improvement of the city's drainage system that, according to the Water Crisis Management Task Force that the mayor recently created, actually needs 2.8 billion pesos. With it are allocations of 100 million pesos for a sewage system, 100 million for the acquisition of equipment for solid waste management, 50 million for river restoration that will include the clearing of the 3-meter easement zone, separate 30 million for the Talamban drainage system, and 20 million to build water catchments in upland barangays. The 2012 budget also allocated 200 million pesos for the purchase of certified brand new heavy equipment, with a separate 50 million pesos for the rental of supplemental equipment. 200 million pesos for the concreting of roads, a separate 200 million for road maintenance, 100 million for road widening, and another 100 million for road asphalting. There are still more that Mayor Mike Rama saw the need to address in 2012 alone. But critics who only want the mayor to fail for obvious political reasons want to cast aspersions on the budget, even attacking insignificant details. In their bid to destroy the political clout of the man they want to unseat in 2013 and bring themselves back to power and control of the city. As they want Mayor Rama destroyed before becoming invincible, the local opposition has only denied the constituents of Cebu City the benefits they have long been denied. Their payback from years of neglect should be at hand.